Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappelville. Welcome back to Middle Earth, and we're gonna do something maybe a little bit spooky right here. We got a Fellbeast, and we're gonna try and paint it as, I guess, as close as I can. Either Armored Wolf. Yeah, this was supposed to be part of a video, but we're just gonna have to either print out another one of these or use something else for that video. Actually, I'm looking at it. Maybe it wouldn't have been the perfect one for it anyways. So we're just going to get this guy painted right here. And again, we're going to try and do more of the, well, the official color scheme, I guess if you want to call that. Hey there, Landras. Great to see you. Not sure how translucent we'll be able to make the wings because they're not going up against the sky. But we'll see what we can do here. You never know. Let me look at this other image right here. Okay, so maybe something like that. So kind of got the warmer colors under here, maybe even some violet up there. We'll do some pre-glaze stuff now. Let's get going with this here. So I was filming a video. Can I actually? I can't quite reach any of those. But I was filming a basing video of all things so that we could base those orcs. It was a basing video just so that we could actually get those orcs ready for painting here. Now, let's see. Let's go with the warmer stuff on the bottom here. So Van Dyke Brown, some of the asphaltum here. And we'll just chuck this stuff in here like you do. Now, there might be some parts that I don't spend a whole lot of time on here because, well, we may not be able to see too much of it. So Andrast, hopefully everything there is going okay there. The Armored Wolf, yeah, that was looking mighty tasty. Now we'll have to so yeah, it would be horrible to try something new, wouldn't it? That'd be so terrible to try something new. Oh, by the way, this is from Medusa Project. This particular Fellbeast right here. And of course, it's a Khamul, bestest ringwraith. Tarzan, I'm glad that you were able to pick all that stuff up. And again, Tarzan, well, I mean, you know how I recommended doing the color charts and maybe even just doing that that value study, right? Instead of trying to blast through a whole bunch of colors. So hopefully you'll be able to find kind of the right sort of miniatures to mess around with at the start. And I hope that you have a blast with them, of course. But also, well, be sure to be patient with yourself. Don't be too harsh on yourself if maybe right away it doesn't quite do exactly what you wanted. That's all good. Again, we're just getting some of our browns in there, something a little warmer. Most important thing here, just get things with paint on them. That is the most important bit right here. Now I can see another area here that needs more of this. Just gonna quite literally shove that brush into there. That's why we got our cheap brushes like this, right? Alright, now it's time to start thinking about something else. Maybe some marble and a teensy, no, not the whole thing of Egyptian violet, a teensy bit of Egyptian violet. Thank you very much. Holy smokes. Well, that's great there, Tarzan. Again, I really hope that it's fun for you. And let's see. It, of course, as always, right? Less is more. More is way too much. So we don't want to have too much paint on that figure, because we sort of set aside all the acrylic stuff, right? Hashtag no layers. Well, the nice thing is, Tarzan, if you say, that's just not working, well, you take the makeup sponges, just wipe it off, and you get up and going again, right? Alright, Michael, how you doing? So Michael, oh boy, Michael, if Grand Oracle or Chris show up later, be sure to drop that one on them, because they're always, doing all the puns and stuff like that, but, Yeah, you should drop that one on. Wait and see when they get in here, and then put that one in them. Put that one in again. All right, what are we doing here? More of this, more of this. Some more dark over here. Keep going with that here on the edge of the wing and the, well, claws, talons, whatever those are. Again, this is from Medusa Project, the 3D print. You know what? Oh, just a tiny bit of thinner here. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of the Egyptian violet and the Mars black. We'll get a little bit of indigo in this too, I think, at a certain point here. And of course, we'll do our usual thing where we wipe some of this away because reasons or raisins. Actually, Landgrass, boy oh boy, I'm trying to think the last time I had chocolate covered raisins here. I'm thinking sometime in May or maybe June. Well, not okay, maybe July or something. That's still months ago. That's a long time. That's not good colon health right there. And boy, Tarzan, I think it was, yeah, it was last night's stream, I think, where there was a couple of times where I just said, all right, that just did not work, or something went wrong, or whatever, and we just wiped it away and just did it again. Just wiped the whole thing away. And of course, this is, yeah, once we start wiping this away, we'll start to reveal some of the nifty texture that's here. Maybe a little bit more of the Mars black here out on the end. Let's do some more over here. Like I said, when we wipe this away, it should reveal a bunch of interesting colors. I think we'll go even more with, say, maybe the indigo or something like that on the rocks, perhaps. Not a whole bunch of thinner here, right? Not a whole bunch of thinner there. We don't need a bunch of liquid on this. It's almost like it's a dry brush. Very, very little thinner. And I mean, look at this. It's we have to really kind of push this stuff on there. Does mean that more of it's going to remain behind by doing that. Now let's get a little bit more of the Van Dyke brown in it. A little bit more of that. Do we have... No, we still got some of our Fellbeast to do over here. Again, a little bit more of that Egyptian violet there. Whatever, we're just going to shove this in there. You can see how many times we go and clean the brush, which is, well, like none. Hey there, Judge Dredd, how you doing? Great to see you back. Happy Friday. So this is from Medusa Project. It's definitely a much more playable Fellbeast because it's not sitting up on top of a tiny little 60mm plastic base, 4 or 5 inches above that, with a big old ring wraith and Fellbeast on top of a little flying post. So here I just throw some of my black primer down there because otherwise my hand's just going to keep getting stuck into that, and that's just going to be aggravating. So we'll just let that be darker until the very last minute, kind of like our chariot last night. Tarzan, it's only never from acrylics to oils, always from oils to acrylics, because with acrylics we can't do well, 99% of the stuff we can do with the oils. So yeah, it's always that way. The acrylic oil, let's see, acrylics to oils is always, it's like a relief. Whereas the other way, it's like, oh yeah, well, this is going to be a pain. This is going to take about 70% longer. And every time I bring up some of the old armies that I know were painted with acrylics, all I can think is, well, that would have taken 1/3 the time potentially with the oil paints. Now, there are times, especially with some of the videos that I have to film, where, okay, we use the acrylic paints because it has to be dry within a few minutes because I'm trying to do maybe some basing stuff or whatever on top of it. Or it's like the vehicle videos where we were doing the although like the weathering and such, and the primer painting. So that kind of changed the paradigm there a little bit. Now let me just get some of the maybe okay, find a little bit more of the center there, maybe more of the indigo. Gotta be a little more careful here. Can't quite bash this thing around so much. Do we? There's still some stuff we got to get back there too. Yeah, I'm just going to use a little bit of thinner just to make sure. Again, we're not snapping anything off of here. Can't quite be as rough on this bit as we have on the rest of the Fellbeast. And I think now we got all surfaces basically covered. I think so. You can see how not shiny some of those earlier portions of the pre-glaze are also. That's a little sign. That means that the paint has actually set. All right. Good enough there. Time for some sponges. Here, we'll just chuck a bunch of them out here. Like so. Start with the wings, because that was the first part we did. So again, see how not a whole bunch of that's going to come off. That's because we let it have a chance to set and do its staining thing. Now, however, we take cleaner sponges, fresh ones. That's going to take away a little bit more of that paint. So just a little word to the wise there. I'm going to actually be emphasizing the fast matte white a bit more because this thing, well, it really needs to be at least dry enough for transport on Monday morning. So yeah, we're going to emphasize the fast matte. Right, maybe not so much would say where I might use a radiant or even brilliant yellow pale. We'll just take a little Indian yellow, we'll mix that with our fast matte, and that's going to basically function as our radiant or our brilliant yellow pale. So we'll get more of our stuff taken away here. A little more taken away there. And then we'll be hitting this with our filbert brushes like usual. Yeah, we're just going to be a little cautious over here. Again, don't want to be breaking things off. Haven't really had a chance to even look at what this even really looks like in some places. All it was prep it, assemble it, and there was some green stuffing to do, I have to say. You got to be willing to do a lot of green stuff on this guy. It was again just to have something that's this playable, and I really needed it to be actually Khamul. If it was some other ring wraith, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have just used my Witch King. Now, of course, let me see if I can bring that one up. First, I have to find that guy. Ah, there he is. So I'm just going to actually move this here where I can actually get to it a little bit faster from my scenes. We're almost there. Now we're there. So that would be this guy right here. We actually painted that up on stream, by the way. The base was done in a basing video, though. So that actually was, believe it or not, painted on stream. And that whole Sculpey base, well, that was all created. Yeah, I mean, to look nifty, but it's actually, for gaming purposes, it's a counterweight. So that he doesn't just, well, fall over all the time. Hey, Shiza, how you doing? So Shiza, if, let's see, I'm not sure, actually, Shiza, sorry, it's out of context. I'm trying to think of, I'm just kind of drawing a blank on that one. So you have to give me a little help on that one. So how you doing there, Sheza? And of course, Sheza, you want to share your links there again. Of course, please go ahead and do so. Oh, well, I always knew where he was. It was the Balrog. So the Balrog was actually in a box of terrain, which I had taken somewhere. And then he was still in that box of terrain. So that is why, yeah, that's why I didn't see the Balrog for quite some time, because he was actually hiding in a box of terrain. Now, the Witch King, he was sitting in a cabinet downstairs. So I found him first. Yeah, actually, it happened to both of them there, Sheza. It happened to this, and again, that one was in a cabinet down in the basement for safekeeping. But the Balrog that I needed, that was actually in a box of terrain of all things. So everybody, please check out the Instagram link that Sheza just posted. I think we're just about there. I'm going to try and get rid of some of these here sponges just to get them out of the way. Well, wait a minute. There's more here. You can see it already is starting to get a little bit of some shading on it just by virtue of doing this. Take away a little bit more here. And everybody, again, please check out the link that Shiza just put up in the chat there. All right. So again, I'm just going to try and get rid of some of these sponges here, because they'll just kind of get in the way if I set this thing down on top of some of those sponges. That would be unfortunate. Now, all right, now it's time to do some of our dry, brushy stuff. Let's just start getting out some Fellbeasts here. And let's start with the, oh yeah, see, I almost went right to that, right to that brilliant yellow pale. We are gonna try and do something a little different here, just again to, so that this has a chance to dry even faster. A little bit more of the fast matte there. So this is very much a very dirty yellow ochre, that's for sure. So Shiza, I mean, green stuff will want to kind of go back to being, well, a ball, but green stuff, well, all of this stuff was green stuff. Everything, every joint here is all green stuff, and obviously it's remained in the form that I sculpted it. I mean, all miniature, well, let's put it this way, all miniatures used to be sculpted exclusively from green stuff down to the tiniest of details. Yeah, the green stuff, brown stuff. Yeah, there was long before there was the digital sculpting. So green stuff will hold. Now, of course, you have to. Let's say if you want to do finer details, that's where you're going to have more of the yellow stuff than the blue, because it's a two-part medium. The more so if you're doing a cloak, like all of our Rohan conversions and stuff, those were all done again with the and you can go back and watch those. Hey there, Megan. Great to see ya. So hopefully you were able to get some sleep last night there, Megan. I know it was a very, very late night. And I hope that you're doing well. I'll have to send you some pictures of the roast. I think I forgot to do that. Maybe I think I sent you pictures maybe at the first one, not the second one. Hey there, Arid. Nice to see you too. Everybody, please give Megan Paint a follow and Arid Wife a follow. And of course, Arid, you want to share your Pinstagram links there. Now, Arid, let's see. You were streaming last night. I wasn't sure if you're going to be streaming again tonight. Here, let's get a little bit of this over over here too. So the voice is going to be a little bit gravelly because I was filming a video before the stream. Unfortunately, had to do that. So again, just trying to get a little bit of this almost a yellow ochre type color down in here. I thought so. So everybody please check out again the link that Arid just shared. Again, we're avoiding the brilliant yellow pale just because, well, again, looking for this to have the fastest possible drying time. But we'll get a little bit more of the Indian yellow into that, though. And see that the pre-glaze is getting there. Look at it. See how dark that brush is? Hit this again. What about these things? They're almost it's almost like there's a bit of greenishness to them. Now these are much closer to the actual Fellbeast, even than say Dandelions and Middle Earth, which are pretty darn close. Let's put it this way: we'll have plenty of other Fellbeasts. I mean, I could basically spend the rest of October and even November painting Fellbeasts because there's already got that many printed out. I was going to hit this a little bit for right now, and it looks like my little idea of just putting the black down there worked. Now this particular print, again, this is from Medusa Project. This particular print, it already has the base, and I do believe the base is 60 millimeter, maybe, who knows, it might be a touch on the bigger side. If it is, I really don't care. So yeah, look at all the dark paint on the end of that brush there. Holy smokes. How's about we get a little bit of Terra Rosa out here. Really gonna grind that into that brush. And let's get some of that out here too. On his wing. Over here. Now with the Khamul, I was kind of wanting to do the golden armor. Maybe it's maybe it might be almost more like a brass or I don't know, something like that. Maybe not necessarily just the gold armor. Is that what we like for it to kind of look like it goes along with my Easterlings? So again, now it's got a little touch of the red in there. No, not the asphaltum. Not the asphaltum just yet. Let me take some of this, maybe a little bit of the Indian yellow in there. I'm just going to start to throw a little something here on Khamul. Again, bestest ring wraith. That's Khamul. You know what? We'll hit that. It's almost like it's bone or something like that. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to my reference picture here. Gee whiz, gonna actually have to get some more of the fast mat white out there because, well, again, normally this would say be brilliant yellow pale, maybe even radiant yellow. I'm gonna try and get a little light on the chompers here. A bit of that Indian yellow work its way onto that brush. Look at where I'm holding this brush again. Well, that's the one neat thing about some of these bigger figures where we're not zoomed in terribly close. You can actually maybe see that where it is we're holding that brush. Can't look at all that dark color getting on there, so we have to once again refresh that brush. Oh, and by the way, we're 26 minutes in. Not even a half an hour yet. We're going to keep building here. Maybe a little bit more of the fast mat white on his chest here. Yeah, these, I noted at least this one. I don't know about the other ones. I don't think I got any of the other ones because I specifically needed this one for my Easterling army, which is all the Candish stuff. And then Khamul tacked on, just as a little extra surprise. Here's the chariot that we did last night. So that was really fun. It's another one of our big conversions that we did. That's gonna play the role of, I think, the Candish king for that particular part of the Candish army. Remember, that's our We Three Kings Candish army. Never really did get the lighter stuff down on this end either. And remember, we actually did some Egyptian violet there as a pre-glaze. Let me see if I can maybe get a little bit of the paint out of this brush here. Just going to squeeze some of that out of there with a paper towel. Let's come back with our light stuff. Again, this has to be a very, 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 very dry brush. Otherwise, not going to do us much good. Once again, going to look at just 2 fingers on that brush. As light a grip as you could possibly have. Then there's also this thing, which oh, maybe it's supposed to be like a skull or something. I don't know. Now Shizit, well, I know that paint in black not necessarily your favorite thing ever. Hopefully you're able to get some nice tints and colors to it. Towards the blue, towards the brown, whatever. Okay. So again, this starts to evolve, starts to emerge. With just a few simple, very, very simple ideas here. Seriously, my hand keeps moving further back to the end of that brush. Eventually we won't be hanging on to it at all. It'll just be suspended in midair. And of course, Megan, if you want to share your link tree, I wasn't sure if you've done that yet. Please go ahead and do so. it's weird now after many months of not getting any alerts for people going live. Now that's all I get all day long is alerts for people going live. The last time I got alerts for people going live was probably in April. For whatever reason, I didn't change any settings. I changed absolutely nothing. But Twitch gave me no notifications at all until yesterday. I mean, we know that Twitch is twitchy, and then for 2 or 3 weeks, right? We weren't getting our Gandalf sounds when people would follow, because of course, Twitch is, well, Twitch. Let's say, hey Ryan, how you doing? Let's see. So, well, Ryan, of course, if you want to post, your figures there. So this is a Fellbeast right here. So it's these are the Nazgul from Lord of the Rings. So if you remember the big winged creatures that flying around like the Witch King, and of course this is Khamul on there. Hey there, Russian Blue Art. Nice to see you again. Welcome back. So Ryan, yeah, you were down to the final 4 last night. So now it's the final 3. And we'll lighten up this a bit too. And there might come a, well, not might, there'd probably be a point where we actually maybe do a little bit of a pin line wash type of thing here too. Now, again, this is 35 minutes in. Oh, and look at this. Now the hype train thing works too. So last night it was all funky with the hype train stuff. Looks like we're, what, 62% to a level 1. So thank you so much. Appreciate the subs. I think last night there was a little bit of mischief with the hype train stuff. We're definitely gonna have to get some more of our fast matte white out there. Just throwing a little bit of this out here, and then we're gonna get in, I think, with some of our golds, perhaps. First, though, I'll just use this. We're gonna take some of the asphaltum here and terra rosa and some Indian yellow. We're just gonna do a little bit of a pin line washy type thing on Khamul here. So we need a hefty amount of thinner into this. It's almost like a, I like to call it a reglaze. Okay, that's good enough, and then we'll just touch this on here, and we'll just let that sit there. Let it do its thing. We'll work on other parts, other pieces, other parts. So thanks again, Megan. Appreciate that. Other leg here. Maybe even throw a little bit of this on whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. And like I said, we'll come back into this with some lighter stuff in a bit here. Just let that set for now. Bingo. Is there? There's some more over here. Now, how's about we do something with indigo and some of our Mars black, and also do something a little bit like a pin line washy type thing. And we're just gonna, a little more thinner. See, I'm just gonna touch it to that miniature. Let it flow where it's gonna go. Let it go where it's gonna flow. Let it do its thing. I know that can be a little nerve-wracking for folks that aren't quite used to say something like that, where we just kind of let things do what they're going to do. Now I want to maybe take this here. We'll take some of our radiant green, maybe. And we're going to start to do something here for his sword. Same on the other side here. Yeah, and just let that mix with what's already there. Let's get a little bit of reflected light there too. Same on this side. A little something there on the horns. Because, well, Khamul. Oh, okay. Would have helped if I would have gotten some of our naphthol red out here. So let's just get some of that out here. A little bit of that naphthol red. Don't need a bunch. There we go. Just a smidge of this. I'll start doing a little bit of dry brushy things in here. Because, well, reasons. Let's get some of that out on the edges of his jaw, I guess. Yeah. Good enough. Maybe we even throw a little bit of that in a few other places just for funsies. We can do that. Why not? Who says we can't do something like that? So this is a little bit of an experiment here. I'm actually not using any brilliant yellow pale, which is really difficult because the brush keeps literally trying to go right to that pile there. So yeah, Grand Oracle, this is Khamul the Easterling on a Fellbeast, because Khamul is best wraith. That's how that goes. Everybody loves Khamul the Easterling. Everyone is on Team Khamul. Witch King? Pff, Witch King? So again, everybody please check out the links that Ryan and Sheza shared with the those Witcher figures. So yeah, Grand Oracle. This is one of those figures. Remember I said I was oh gosh, what was it, about 8 or 9 hours or so prepping miniatures. This is one of them right here. And I'm sure you'll be shocked to know that we've spent 44 minutes on this. It never gets old, does it, Grand Oracle? Yeah, let's do a little bit more over there. Hey there, Green Fairy Studios, how you doing? As always, happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody except for folks, I'm sure maybe there's some folks where it's already Saturday. If you're in Europe, boy, that's pretty darn early in the morning there. It's got to be about 4:39 in the morning or something. So Medusa Project, Grand Oracle, and they basically have every, well, let's put it this way, specialty ring wraith on Fellbeast. So I will be getting some more of these, even though Printing Goes Ever On has done all of the specialty ones. See, that's starting to get a little bit less shiny up there. Hey there, Danger Clothes, how you doing? Everybody, please give Danger Clothes a follow. So Danger Clothes, hope that you're having yourself a Fantabulous. Oh, okay. We didn't get the radiant violet there. We got radiant magenta over there. I mean, it's not terrible. Wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So we'll just go fast matte white and Egyptian violet. We'll just do that. It's all kinds of crazy upside down. Glad that you're doing good there, Danger Close. Now, just like we did up here, we're going to do a little bit of glazy time down here. It's going to be a glazy Friday with maybe this. That is the same stuff that we just used on Khamul. Well, little Van Dyke Brown added to it maybe. More of our thinner, and we're just going to go doink like so. So Green Fairy Studios, I hope that all of your projects are progressing. Hopefully they're going really well. Again, I know you don't want to be sharing the pictures of them just in case. But there's something you think you can. That would be great too. Okay. I didn't necessarily want the indigo here, but we're going to go with that because that's what's now sitting on the brush. Remember, we're thinking about doing a little bit of glazy stuff on our Fellbeast too. Let me see. Let's go all right over here, getting around that eye. A little bit down in here. A little something up there. Alright, I think we're really, we're gonna let that set for a little bit longer there. Now, still 47 minutes. Yes, that's it. We're just 47 minutes into this. Well, Danger Close, I'm sure you're looking forward to that. Everybody, again, please give Danger Close a follow if you could. So, Grant, it's kind of it's not quite the collection you would expect based on the fact that they did all of these ring rates. I could swear there's some sci-fi stuff in there too, or am I thinking about that wrong, Grant Oracle? And Grant, that's what I meant to do. Well, okay, now I finally have my resin. That didn't show up till right before I started streaming. But after the stream, amongst all the other things I'll be doing, is I'm going to be making a build plate with the latest Printing Goes Ever On. Was that chapter? Is it chapter 39 or chapter 42? I know that's two very different numbers there. But I'm I don't remember which chapter it might be. But obviously the one with Denethor and Aragorn, and of course the Welcome Trove. I did download that earlier today. So the revised Welcome Trove, and I think, well, of course, Grand Oracle, we have endless Aragorns and Gandalfs, and even practically Boromirs, but I guess we'll just have to do more. Because you're right, the expressions on the faces definitely are different. Danger Close going to be streaming tonight. So again, everybody please give Danger Close a follow. So that when that streaming begins, you'll be right there. All set. Use maybe this as a bit of a blendy brush up here. I wish that I had my phthalo green, but well, no, we're gonna go with something else here, maybe. Maybe we'll do this Prussian blue, radiant green there. Just to kind of alter the color on this just a little bit. There. So yeah, danger close. Well, here is the previous Witch King that we actually did paint this on stream. And of course, that big old base, we made that as a counterweight. This one right here is obviously this was really made nicely, very playable, right? Because I don't have to worry about him, well, tipping over or anything like that. All right, here, let's get back to here. We're going to take our fast matte white and some of this. And we're going to see what we can do here to start bringing out some of the armor here. Oh, we'll do the chompers too at the same same color here. So this one, actually, boy oh boy, this did not take up very much at all on the Mono X build plate. It's very compact. It looks very big here together, but all as far as the printing part of it goes, it was really compact and, gotta say, fairly easy to print. Now there was a lot of green stuff that I had to do. That's we have to make sure that we say that. There's quite a bit of the filling and green stuffing that had to be done. But again, it's Khamul, bestest ring wraith, so we deal with that. Hey there, Chris. How you doing? So Chris says he asks, "What did the tired dragon make for dinner? A flamin' yawn?" Actually, oh hey Arda Michael, if you want to drop your pun there, actually Arda Michael did a little bit of a punnage right there. I'd have to scroll back to recall exactly what it was, but yeah, Arda Michael decided to drop down some puns right when the stream began. Yeah, we're practically just doing a bit of a dry brush right here with our tiny little, not sable brush. So there you go, Chris. There it is. Arda Michael said, so Twitch actually let me use the word Nazgul, which is very much a wraithist term. So Chris, great to see you. I hope that you had yourself a fantastic Friday, of course. And we're just really starting to get down to the juicy part here. We're what, an hour in? Not even 53 minutes. 53 minutes ago, this was nothing but gray primer. So yes, it is still open mic night at the Wappelville Comedy Club. Best comedy club in all of Middle-earth. You don't get quality humor like that in the Shire. Here, let's do a little bit more of our light. Maybe even over on this too. Let's see what we're going to do here on his sword as well. So can just throw a little something out here. A little something, and also too, I don't want this to necessarily be quite as brilliant of a gold as what we maybe normally do for Easterling. Something a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit different for this. Kind of show that maybe he's a wraith, right? So Chris says that bad puns are best puns. Let's see if I can also, again, do something with the chompers here. Because those got mighty dark, especially when we did our little pin line wash over the top of them. But now that means this is going to have much more of an effect here. Guess what? We could still go lighter than this. We will also find out, is all of this fast matte white going to make a difference? Because again, where I normally would use maybe more of the radiance, brilliant yellow pale. Instead, I'm just using the fast matte white. No idea how that's gonna go, but it should dry a bunch faster. Get some more of my light down in here too. Not quite though. That's more of the cloak there. Okay. So, Chris. Yeah. Well, the silly Marillion just gets more silly, doesn't it? That's and somehow I have a feeling it'll get even more silly. Let's see if, oh yeah, here, let's lighten this up a touch up over here. You don't really have anything going on up here. Let's put a little something in there. Especially on this side, because I think that's where the light would hit that. Okay. Same there. Actually, well, Galandra, that's right. I have to get my, I want to do this Aowen diorama right there. Again, using the painted backdrop concept, because I think that would be really fun. Alright, let's do this. Now, to me, it seems like the Easterlings, they should have had more access to things like Fellbeast because, well, I don't know, the Dragon Emperor, right? They have, in the army list, there are the little drakes, little baby dragons. Yeah, let me get a little bit of the light on that part of the armor there, and then some down here. So I'm not really going to do too much on the shoulders there because I can see that's going to be a frequent place for me to be sticking my hand. And that seems like it's going to be very much the case here. Also got to be thinking about some reflected light there. More over here. Okay, look where my hand is on this brush. Way the heck down there. Galadriel, hopefully your Friday was a fantastic one. Here we go. What's happening over here? And of course we can zoom in later. Well, I can zoom in a lot, but right now just putting some of the basics on Khamul here. Nothing super detailed, nothing super fancy yet. When we get to those, I mean we just crossed the 1 hour mark. That's it. We just got into the 1 hour territory here. There's time, plenty of time. Okay, there is the... You know what, let's see if we can get that eye a little bit later over here. Looks like we can. So Danger Close, I hope that you have a really fun stream tonight. Gonna try a little more of my red on the tongue here. Who knows? Maybe at some point we try it. Was it the Yoo-Hoo glue or whatever, where people kind of do the saliva type of thing, right? I think that's what it is. We have some of that here. So Galadriel, that's some charismatic megafauna right there. Actually, that kind of sounds like a Moria beast caller list or something like that. Yeah, that sounds Sounds like something out of the Moria list and the MESBG. With all that crazy stuff going on. Gee whiz. Oh, danger close. Sorry to hear that. Holy smokes, that's no fun. Hopefully that's not a difficult thing to get back in there. Especially since you want to use it for streaming later tonight. Let me rotate this around this way. That there might be some times where I have to kind of rotate something in a weird way to be able to, well, for both of us to be able to, or all of us, I should say. Because if I can't see it, that's a wee bit of a problem. Yeah, danger close. Actually gotten myself a stud finder only to find out that, well, wasn't really working quite all that well. Not as well as I was hoping it might. It found pieces of wood, usually like really big header beams or something like that, well, they're there already. As far as finding the studs, not so much. Get a little more of that magenta whatever going down in there. Maybe not so much of that here. We're going to take some of that away. Like so. That's there's that actually Grand Oracle, that sounds like the 12 Days of Christmas right there. That literally sounds like the insane pet version of the 12 Days of Christmas. Alright, again, we're not gonna go with the brilliant yellow pale here. We're trying to see, can we get this to be a quicker drying thing with just the fast matte white here. Might still have to come back with some more darks on Khamul, but that's okay. Here, get more of my light over here too. Yeah, Grand Oracle. Oof, that does not sound like that could have been very fun. Yeah, danger close. The houses around here, especially the older the houses are, you find that yeah, that didn't quite work that way. You'll find 14 inches, 16 inches, 18, 15. Very seldom is it 12. It's usually more like a roll a d6. Because here there's I don't think I've seen a single part of the house where it actually just, oh, look at this, 12 inches, there's a stud. Or 16 even, it's very random. Which is funny because it is the contractor that built many of the houses in this area. Who knows, maybe he just wanted to have fun on the house that he built for himself. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a lot of mischief in the walls there. Yeah, just ask, hey, Arid. Arid's sitting there, hold my beer, because Arid, you had one or two things that might not have been according to code right there. Just one or two, right? Yeah, so danger close again. When the houses get to be 60, 70, 80, 100 some odd years old, well, you're going to find Romex, you're going to find all kinds of stuff all over the place. Yeah, so there's Arid with the few things that may not have been exactly the way they were supposed to be. Maybe let me see if I can zoom in just one here. Now that we're getting closer on Khamul here, get that piece of fuzz off of here if I can. So yeah, Grand Oracle also familiar with a few non-code type things. And Arid, actually the house that you're in there, that is much newer than this one, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if it's newer than 70 years, then it's newer than this one. Here, let's get to our a little more of our light there. Same on the end of the sword. Oh yeah, Grand Oracle. The one time I was doing home remodeling was that was in areas like Brookfield and Westchester out here. So now you're talking about houses that could have been 100 years old, 120 years old. I don't know how many times someone played Sparky the Electrician as they thought all the power was out to a certain outlet or whatever. Next thing you know, boom. And yeah, Grand Oracle, there's even a touch of that here too. Let me get a little more of my light on that, and also too some of these parts of the armor here. We'll be coming back with some more darks too. Even this is not necessarily the lightest light that we can do. Get a little bit, speaking of some light, we'll get a little bit more of that up here. Thank you so much, Galadriel. Appreciate that. Yeah, since this is something that I need to have ready by Monday, we're hoping that this little experiment here with just the fast matte white means that it will be dry enough for us to be able to transport. We shall see. Well, yeah, here, let's lighten that up. So I'm just going to say that this is some kind of armor here. I'm not quite sure. At first I thought it was cloth, like there was a bunch of folds here. And then I realized I don't think it is. I think that's actually something else. Then we'll also have to do things like the cloak, where I think we'll use a little bit more of our maybe our indigo. So Galadriel, it's always the same thing. It's just the Badger Stino-Res primer. Try to keep it as neutral as possible. Not too light, not too dark. So it's generally just going to be some, well, gray primer like this right here. So again, just a gray primer, just brush it on. And we'll, yeah, let's get a little bit more of our light over there. I mean, it's possible. That's what's on the menu for Monday. It could also be totally stuck here, and there's a garage demo on Monday. I have no idea, unfortunately. We're kind of back to the whole everything is randomized once again. Until that thing is done, there's probably going to be a lot of, well, not quite sure what's happening this day or that day, unfortunately. It would be nice, but again, not quite sure. Yeah, I'm just going to set my hand on that. So I'm going to do, let's just focus in on Khamul here, because otherwise, like I said, we had to just set our hand right on top of his head there. So why don't we just focus in on this? Oh, some of our green, perhaps. In here. Maybe even on the horns. Not sure that's supposed to be hair or exactly what that is. Let's see. So yeah, well, Aaron, I'm glad that you were able to figure that out. Well, and save some money and other hassles too. This again, same that green there. I'll go in here, also over here. And then I'll use maybe some Egyptian violet and the Indian yellow to really ramp up some of the darks there. First, let's get a little bit more of our light on this part of the armor here. Haven't really gotten this very much. Same over here. I mean, it is kind of in shadow, so don't want to go too bonkers with making that lighter. Okay, that wasn't supposed to go there. Oh, look at that. We're just gonna kind of wipe that away. So Grand Oracle, they seem to be pretty good. Because I did not mess around with supports. And as I was mentioning before, it might look large here, but it really was very efficient to be able to place on the build plate. And even with the Mono X, this was just a one build plate sort of thing. Even with the base, the base is hollowed. The chest is hollowed, and I think those are the only two hollowed out pieces. And that all seemed to work out well. I'm gonna let a little bit of the Indian yellow work its way into that green. And we'll let some of that work its way onto the sword. Let me see if I can do some of my much darker dark there. So Danger Close found it at 13. Yeah. So I just assume that nothing is to code. I just figure everything is going to be some kind of weird random thing, not where it's supposed to be. Now that again, that's the Egyptian violet. A little bit of the Indian yellow as well. Here, let me get one of my spunges over here, and I'm just gonna have to get rid of some of the extra thinner. Grand Oracle, this one seemed to be just fine. There's the hole right over there. Which is funny because with all the green stuff that I was doing there, the one thing I forgot to do was to fill that. Doesn't matter because all I need to do is just put a little bit of ground cover over that or even a grass tuft and nobody's going to know. Nobody will be any the wiser. Get a little bit of dark on the sword out here too. And Grand Oracle, the nifty thing is that they have basically kind of one of each specialty wraith. You've got the Shadow Lord, basically. There's something that's kind of the equivalent of a Dark Marshal. Oh, and the other thing I think you saw is that they have the same, they have each wraith on foot as well. It's not just on the Fellbeast. Let me see if I can get this a little darker down in there. And remember, we can still go lighter than this. You can still go lighter if we need to. So I'll bring in a little bit more of my darks there. Same over here. Not doing the pin line washy stuff now. We did a little bit of that earlier. Here's my micro blending brush here. So again, we're not, as you can see, I'm just kind of sticking my finger on this, so we're not going to work on the Fellbeast until we have Khamul ready to go here, because otherwise we'll just be wiping away paint. A little more thinner in that, not too much. I mean, the green is okay, but I also want to get a little bit more of a yellowish brown here. Let me get the fast matte white over into this. And let me see what we can do here on the Fellbeast face. Like I said, we'll be coming back at this with our blending brush. Doing this more with that yellowish color here. Less of the green, more of the yellowish color. Where's that blending brush here? See a little bit of tap, tap, tap there. Let's do some more down here. And then we come at it again, and now maybe we bring out just a few individual scales like this here. Like this. So trying to do this is close to the actual Fellbeast from the movies, since they really, I have to say, they kind of went out of their way to really make it as close as they could. Now all of that Egyptian violet that we put here, that's what I'm kind of hoping this will do, is it kind of plays off of all that Egyptian violet that's here. So kind of a yellow versus the purple. See how that plays out. Now, take a look at that. You know what? Let's zoom in here. Zoom in. So how that looks. You can see how much of it we lost by sticking my finger on that face all the time. That's why we got this here. And again, I will have to, I think I might just go try and get my hand, at least that hand washed, so that I don't transfer that all over the place here. Alright, now let's spin them around. And we'll do this over here again. Look, my hand is not on that brush. Look at it. It's basically at the end of the brush there. Not on that metal ferrule. Caress the brush. Do not crush the brush. See that all the time. It amazes me how people don't literally snap their brushes in half. It's like they're trying to do some kind of Hercules thing or something like that and just snap the thing in half. Got plenty of control over this, don't I? Do I need to have my hand on the metal? Look at that. It's way down over there. Speaking of flames of war, that will remind me of when I was taking a number 8 round craft brush, which I was holding like this, and I was painting a flames of war stug like this, and someone said, all right, now you're just messing with us. That's not for real. You don't have to hold the brush like that. I said, well, I need a light touch on the brush. Further away, you're holding it away from that metal ferrule, the lighter the touch is going to be. That was that's one of my favorite Adepticon moments there. All right, let me get back to the orangey stuff here. Yeah, now maybe I start to pick out a few scales as I'm doing this. And the whole idea is that to get as many kind of different fun colors in there as we can. Greens, violets, whatever. People say, oh, that's a limited color palette. Ah, boy. I don't even like to ever use that term because people think it means you're limiting your colors. No. Well, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be limited. You could have just 3 colors and have a whole full palette on the miniature. You got your red, you got your yellow, you got your blue. Guess what? That's a full palette. You don't necessarily need all the other stuffs. Speaking of stuffs, we're trying to go a little lighter here now. Down there as well. Maybe it's a little lighter than what it shows in my reference pictures, but well, my Wraith my way, or my Fellbeast my way. I get either way. Either way. I'm gonna try and get a little. There we go. That's good. Now I gotta do the same over here. Maybe that's a little too much, so we'll just boom, do that. I'm gonna bring back the eye here. And we're just gonna try that again. Because it wasn't, oh yeah, here's our indigo violet, that's right. So let's try this one more time here. That is better, yeah. Much better. Hey there, Valfira, nice to see ya. Hopefully you're doing well there, Valfera. And look at this, we're also going to welcome in Night Whisper along with Valfera. So Valfera, I hope that you're doing well. And Night Whisper, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that. So Night Whisper, looky here. Looky here, it's Khamul. Khamul the Easterling. Best Wraith. Yeah, forget the Witch King. Witch King. Witch King. Nah, whatever. Forget him. It's all about Khamul the Easterling. Everybody, please give Night Whisper a follow if you could. And of course, Night Whisper, like usual, you want to share something in the chat, please go ahead and do so. Same thing there, Valfera, you want to share the Dragon there, that's fine. So Valfera, hopefully this weekend, maybe there's some fun stuff you can do. Not quite sure if there's any big SEC matchups this weekend. I know there's the big one. And there's the big one of Penn State, Ohio State. Sorry that it's been one of those kind of days there, Valfera. Hopefully there is, well, Saturday is better, and great to see you again there, Cutie Patootie. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Well, happy Friday to everybody, or Saturday as the case may be, because there's some folks where it's already Saturday. So again, thank you so much, Night Whisper, for the raid. We're working with our usual oil paints here. Oil paints straight out of the tubes. Nothing funky. No mediums or anything like that. Just straight up oil paints. Let's do some more of our lighter stuff down here if we can. There. So now a little film noir should be interesting, especially now that we've got this here. So there'll be a few places where more of the contrast has to do with color than it does with light versus dark. So again, we've got the reds in here. This was actually an Egyptian violet pre-glaze for the most part here. And then you can see in the golds here, right, we've got a little bit of greens and a little bit of the orange in there. So how's about we do something like this? We'll make that go away. And all of a sudden it's like the Fellbeast is like, whoa, what happened? There's no shading all of a sudden, or it doesn't look like it. And even him, okay, he's got some shading, but nothing terribly exciting, right? We don't see all those different color temperatures going on. Same thing here, where we literally have almost like a greenish yellow and then a magenta over here. Or we just have gray. How's about we bring back that color here? Let's bring this back. All of a sudden now you see, again, see you got the red there and then our yellow over there. So thank you so much, Grand Oracle. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And there we go. So I don't know. So Valfera, is there a certain point where you just want that dragon to be gone because it's been a lot of work for a heck of a long time? So again, everybody, please check out the link there that Valfera shared. And of course, Night Whisper again. You want to share something in the chat there? That'd be fantastic. Yeah, get a little bit more of our lights going here. No. More. Let's go back to this more of a greenish tone here. That's really like a warm green. It's gonna look more like just a gray once we get it on here. Yeah, let's do some more of that here. Just picking out some of these here scales. Also over here. So there's all kinds of colors happening here, and what people would say, that's just that's you know a muted color scheme or a limited palette. Gosh, I don't even like hearing that word. It's not a limited palette. It's what's as limited as you make it. That's it. Well, Valfira, I hope that you get a chance to do that. I know there's a million other things where you just say, well, okay, I have to do these other things. I know you would really like to be able to just work on that, like you say, and really hammer your way through it. And get a little more of our lighter yellow further up that. And then, of course, there's these chompers here. Let me hit those real quick. Let me get those real quick before we forget about them here. Geez, sorry about that, Night Whisper. I hope I didn't want to rush you there or something like that to go rush him over to the photo booth. Hopefully it's something that can be fixed very easily. So sorry about that. Didn't mean to distract you. But sometimes I know for me, I'm just trying to move a miniature somewhere and it bumps into a light stand or the camera boom or something like that, and it just literally knocks it out of my hand. I mean, it's like somebody just like a hand came in and swiped it out of my hand. Where's my reference here again? Let me. So Valfera suggests a moment of silence for the injured party. Now this is going to be the. Well, look at this. Instead of a dirty little magenta, it's like a dirty little violet right here. Let me see if I can Lighten that up. Again, I've just been using the fast matte white here instead of the brilliant yellow pale. It's a bit of an experiment. That's a bit of an experiment there. Again, trying to get some of the scales here. Like this. Do these guys too. And remember, you can see the paint on my finger there. That's what used to be over here. So yeah, Night Whisper, sometimes that just kind of happens. And it sort of, it magnifies, right? Or it snowballs. Because you start to just become aware, you're like, man, I'm bumping into everything here. What's going on? And now you're trying not to. And of course, the harder you try not to, guess what happens? Yes, indeed. You just now you just basically bash into everything. That the more you try not to, the more you will. And again, here's hoping it's an easy fix, and not one of those where you'll spend several hours just looking for the pieces. That's happened here. That's the only reason I mention that is because I know what that's like. There was one, oh yeah, we found it many months later in a place that the laws of physics said there's no way that part should have bounced up in the air about 4.5 feet and landed like behind me. Yeah. So here's hoping you at least know where the parts are. Hey there, Velfera. It's not like you had to do any object source slating on each and individual one of those scales. You didn't have to do that at all, right? So yeah, no problem. Actually, Velfera, if you had oh, what is it? What are those things? Things that record how many steps you do. If you had something to record how many scales you had to paint, that would it have lost track? Nah, so Night Whisperer was actually able to use that. Of course, now I don't see where it's at. Is it up here somewhere? So this was something that broke off on stream, and I could not find it anywhere. And let's just put it this way, the reason I couldn't find it is the laws of physics said it should have never ended up where it did. But that's where it did. Actually, it was good that it did, because otherwise it would have been gone. It would have been cleaned up and probably tossed in the garbage as I cleaned up the area in between videos or streams or whatever. But still, holy smokes. So again, just putting a little bit of the, again, that's some of our violet here. Try some of that on this side. And again, no death grip on the brush. None of that stuff. So this is a fantastic print here from Medusa Project. They have other specialty rates on Fellbeasts. It's kind of a very different collection of miniatures. It's not quite what you would expect altogether. Let me get a little bit more of my light here on these scales too. Like so. Okay, find a little more of our fast matte into a couple of these scales. Yeah, let's do these guys. And I know we had some of the yellow, some of the green going. Here we're doing violet. So at no point are we doing, well, gray. Yes, at no point did I just take a gray paint. There is no, I don't have any gray paints. I just make something, and it usually ends up looking a whole lot like gray. Yeah, Velfer, it's crazy, right? It is absolutely insane. There's no way that should have ended up over there. This thing somehow, well, it hit the floor, bounced up, went over my head, landed behind me on basically on top of a cabinet. There is no way that should have been able to happen, again, by any normal laws of physics, but then, as we know, miniatures, they don't really obey any laws of physics. Yeah, Valfira, I can only imagine, well, I mean, that's the kind of pain that only a mustard container can deliver. I tell you, to this day, every time I go, well, actually, I haven't, I don't think I've touched a mustard container in many months. I'm literally paranoid that some kind of weird thing is going to happen with that stupid container. After your experience there, I was very suspicious of all things mustard. Yeah, and I think that probably happened here. There's actually a piece. Hopefully, it's not one of the welcome pack. Oh, what are they? The Candish horsemen there from Diwali, because I think maybe we might have lost one of the arms with like a bow or something on it. Unfortunately. I did. I'm telling you, Velfir, ever since I heard that story, that has just every time I'm like, you know what? Maybe mustard not gonna be so fantastic on this anyway. So we'll take a pass. We'll pass on the mustard this time. All right, now I'll start wandering over this way here. Start thinking about our scales on the shoulder. Now we've been doing the violet here. How's about we bring over our indigo violet? So that's indigo and Egyptian violet together. Also on this side. Now more towards the indigo, perhaps. Oh, that's going to be awful light. Let's tone that down a little bit. This has been kind of thinned down, but believe me, it's not a pinline wash. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to paint any scales with it now, would we? Now, I will say this, this did require a fair amount of green stuff work and gap filling. This is not exactly a one-piece print, so there's a bunch of stuff to glue together. However, it did also not take quite so much room on the build plate, so I was able to do all of this on just one plate. Yeah, Velfred, I'm just thinking, like, is there like a soft container version of it? Actually, what we wanted to do was just get these stupid old-fashioned, like you see in a typical diner, right? The yellow container and the red container, kind of soft and smushy, and just get the stuff and put it in one of those immediately. And here we'll get again. We're doing some of this with our indigo violet, a little bit of Egyptian violet, a little bit of indigo in there. And might as well emphasize these scales since they're the ones you're going to see the most. We'll do the same over here. Again, I kept sticking my hand on that, so that's why a lot of these scales are kind of gone here. What else are we doing? Let me get some of this. More of that up here. Again, got a little bit of the indigo. We don't want to lose. Don't want to lose some of the Terra Rosa that's in here as well. Let's not go too crazy. It also now takes some, we got some green up there, some blue up there. We have all kinds of fun, different colors all playing off of each other here. Ah, thanks, Velfira. Just, ironically enough, this was supposed to be the topic of a video. I ended up doing a basing video so that we would have the stuff we need to paint tomorrow, and well, either Monday or Tuesday, which would be a makeup Monday. One way or the other. And again, just the indigo, Egyptian violet, and then a little bit of the fast matte, and then whatever junk is on the brush. All kind of mixed together. Yeah, we'll get some of that over. We'll get some more of our lighter greenish stuff as well. More of our, here we go. I'll have to look and see if there's any early games tomorrow. If there's any 11, one of those crazy 11 a.m. starts or something like that. I mean, as we get this late into October, it really gets to be, now we're starting to enter rivalry time. November is going to be big time, obviously, for the rivalries. Let's keep going. More of our light here on these scales. Kind of trying to give it as much of a, kind of a mystical quality too here. This looks like it's incredibly light, just like I think it was the even last night in our stream where I was saying, boy, this looks really light. Believe me, it's not. It's barely even a middle tone. Speaking of those greens, let me go back to, this is our green again. And that's going to go over here, I think. If it's too late, we'll tone it down this way. A little bit of the asphaltum actually in there. And then we'll always have our blending brush handy. We just gotta take the edge off of that a little bit. Take the edge off. We'll continue more of our green over here, even on some of these scales, and of course start to work this onto the webbing over here. Looks incredibly light, only because what's already here is incredibly dark. Remember, we went back in with our indigo violet, did some almost a pin line wash in there. Take our blending brush to this again, tone that down just a touch. Just a wee bit. Get some more of our greens out here. Tempted to do something, or should I just make that darker? I might do that. a little bit more of my light here, but I think we're actually going to go back in there and when in doubt, make things darker, right? When in doubt, make things darker. Not quite sure what we want to do on here for light. Now here I'm going to go back to even more of a Terra Rosa here. Come back with this. So that's a very different color right there. That's almost like a bit of a brown there. Ooh, maybe too much thinner. Nah, maybe not. Maybe not. The whole idea here is, again, no limited color, right? We're not thinking like that. That will get a little lighter too. And then some blending brush action. Same over here. Just add a little fast matte white to the mix there. Again, normally I would have used maybe a radiant color or the brilliant yellow pale. But this is my experiment here. I want to see, does this actually make a difference? If I don't use those and I only use the fast matte white, mixing it with some of my other colors here, does it actually dry significantly faster? Does it not make a difference at all? It may not make a darn bit of difference. And I wouldn't even bother trying it if it wasn't, again, for this having to be dry by Monday morning. So that looks a little bit different than that, which has a whole lot of Zippo on it, right? And again, even here, I don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of time, right, carefully brushing on strokes there because, well, you can't really see it now, can you? Here, let's throw a little bit more of our light down here. Touch more like this. Okay, and maybe we'll start to think about what we want to do down there. You know, actually that might be, maybe we'll leave that alone for right now. Alright, we gotta do something on the top of this, and I think we're gonna go back to our sort of violet type tone here. Start out this way. And now this is our kind of indigo violet. We have all kinds of different colors playing out on this, even though it's a black Fellbeast, I guess, if you want to call it that. Now this is a little bit more of this, the grade down indigo, not so much of the violet in this. Again, going after these scales here. Oh, and by the way, 3 hours ago this had no paint on it. Seriously, it was just a it was gray primer 3 hours ago. I just looked up there and that, oh yeah, it's only been 3 hours. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Get a little bit of my light on the inside of this here. Again, look, it's almost like that. Well, I just got the 2 fingers on the brush, right? It's practically like I'm holding it on the end over here. Like that story we were recounting not too long ago. See if I can get the light on this side here. A little bit more of a, yeah, right there. Some more of this down over here. Yeah, there we go. Getting some greens out. So purples, greens, oranges, whatever. And let's get more of our pearline black. Let's make that a little darker here. And same thing here. Again, that's gonna give me a couple of scales down in here. Take a blending brush to it and then see, just take away some of the edges of that. We did that same deal on this. So you can see those markings. You see how some of them almost just disappear? All I did was I slapped those on there. I took that same blending brush and then I just kind of maneuvered those and toned some of them down. Now up here, I think that should catch some more light perhaps. So let's get a couple more of these scales with the lighter stuff. Then we'll take our blending brush again, because we don't want a bunch of hard edges there. See, we're just going to go a little bit of tap, tap, tap. We're not doing this. All it's going to do is smudge that. We're not looking to smudge that. We're looking to actually just, again, tone down some of the edges on it. That's all. Whoops, not those. We can put our fingers on this because we haven't really done anything on this. That's just the original pre-glaze there. There's been no additional stuff there. We're just kind of working our way around the Fellbeast here. Doing some stuff with the scales here. Let's get these guys. Well, there, now you can see it. Hopefully that's not too light. That's kind of on the lighter side there. You might have to tone that down a little. With our blending brush, that'll be the easiest way to do it. Some more over here. Thanks Armored Wolf for posting a link to the GoFundMe campaign. That has been a huge help, so we appreciate everybody that has supported us there. That's really been tremendously helpful. And obviously we still have lots of mega projects going on here, so anybody that supports us there, again, it is much appreciated. So Dinosaur, it's there is a difference, and you've heard us say, right, that Egyptian violet is the king of violets. Everything else is just purple. So it's not necessarily just the dioxazine violet, because there's other ones that really, and other folks have tried it too, right? I know Doji, you have, and other folks have, and they've all seen the difference, and it is very much a difference between that and your garden variety dioxazine violet, which is probably why, well, the Egyptian violet is way more expensive, right? I'll see you later there, Doji. Again, glad you had a chance to achieve the bakery run and breakfast already. So again, just trying to get some of this lighter, almost kind of an orangey color. It's very dingy though, by comparison. Let's get some more of that down here. Again, take the blending brush to tone some of this down. And again, just a little bit of tap, tap, tap. That's all it is. Take this one. Yeah, do the same thing. we'll change there. So instead of the green down there, now it's more of that, again, that Terra Rosa color. Now, yeah, I'm going to go back to the violet stuff over here. So yeah, this is how I can tell. I think this is going to be definitely dry by our Monday, because as I go to use these, this violet here, boy, it is, I have to really try to reactivate it. So that tells me the fast matte white kind of doing its job. Again, I mean, this is a very dingy violet color right here. We've got Terra Rosa in there. There's even a little bit of green. So it's more like a violet gray, if anything. Now I'm hoping that, again, the Candace chariots with the with all those kings in the heroic march, as I learned that, well, even though you're not calling a charge, it's just a move. So with heroic march, you can actually have your chariots basically run stuff over for 13 inches. And again, remember our little tactic we did where we created that little parking space with all the little dwarves? Yes, the dwarves all kind of, the one chariot charges in, dwarves all kind of wrap around. They say, oh, well, we'll kill this chariot. Well, then the king comes along on the next turn, charges that whole group, and there is a convenient chariot-sized ring of dwarves, and each of those dwarves takes 2 strength 4 hits, each and every one of them. So that makes for some sad little dwarves there. No, actually, the old Holland stuff, Denethor, that's supposed to be a high quality stuff, right? The old Hollands, those aren't cheap. So I think maybe who knows? It might be stronger than we think. If that's the old Holland stuff. At least, now I've never tried the old Holland stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of it's one of your snazzier brands, right? Again, this is kind of a dingy, sort of muted violet here. We're just going to get that into some of these areas. I might also come back maybe with some of the dark too. But for now, let's focus on using our middle tone here. So okay, that's then a snazzier brand. If it's the same as the Williamsburg, yeah, I'll call that a snazzy brand for sure. And of course, well, Denethor, I'm anxious to see what you discover. Of course, now this is more towards the indigo here. A little bit less of the violet, more towards the indigo. Get some of these scales and spines up here. And again, this is just 4 hours and 9 minutes in. Now surface tension, I guess, is it going to alter the time that you walk the dog? Because, well, now it's 1:04, so usually be about 20 minutes from now when you would do the dog walking. Throw you on there, blending brush, mix that together, like so. It's all about the science, right, Denethor? It's the science of making our own paint. I mean, to me, it's really fun doing that. I really enjoyed making my own paints, actually. I'm hoping to get a chance to do that again, for sure. Maybe that's a little too much there. And this, I'm also going to tone that down. There we go. That's like a really weird kind of hard edge sitting there. Now, these I don't want to do too much there because might still have to stick my finger there, so we're not going to do too much on those. We will get these guys though. See if we can get some of our lighter violet on there. A little bit more light here too. Okay. Now what about in the on the inside of these wings here? Let's do some stuff there. Denethor. Wow, that's you shouldn't have mentioned that. There, someone's gonna show up now at your door and try and snag some of that Yin Min Blue, the snazzy stuff there. I'm gonna just throw out some more of my fast matte white over here. Again, we're basically substituting this for all of those radiant colors. That's why I have to kind of keep putting it out there, because we're just kind of only using that and not the usual radiance. Okay. To do some more stuff on the face here too. Going with that more of the gray down violet there. There's some more spiky bits here. Especially since we're not going to be sticking our finger on that anymore, because again, we painted up Khamul earlier. I think so. I think so there, Denethor. I think you had to sell maybe. I think you had to mortgage, take out a second mortgage on Minas Tirith there. All right, that's too much right there. Gonna get some more of our little bit of light in here. And we'll lighten up this side again. Again, that's got a little bit of the indigo in it, a little bit of the violet too. Again, this is where I was sticking my fingers, so there's really nothing here, so we're gonna liven this up a bit. I will say that this particular Fellbeast has quite the attitude and quite the expression on him. Well, it'll be tough for him to become a regular character because he's kind of on the bigger side here. We have to come up with a name for Khamul's Fellbeast here. All right, let's get a little bit more of our light right along this. Oh, here this two. A couple more here. Get this side too. So a little row of spines there. Where's my new fast? There we go. Let's hit this again. I might have to paint in there are two little like nostrils here, so we might paint those back in, something darker here. Trying to move our dark right up his schnoz there. Or light, sorry. I'm thinking I gotta come back in with the dark on the in the interior of the nostrils here. So let's see if we can do that. Like this here. There's one. And there's the other one. And over here, I'm actually going to try and use a little bit of my dark here to separate some of the scales, and then we'll come back in with our light one more time, because over here we're pretty good. Here we gotta come back with our light now. Light here. Maybe a little bit more. Ah, there we go. And in some cases, maybe it's just a little bit of a glint or something here where one scale gets caught in some light, almost like a mosaic floor or something. Ah, yeah, we can do these scales maybe a little bit lighter too. Now that we've got kind of the context of everything else. Yeah, let's get some more of that over here. Along this kind of top edge there, right? It almost kind of makes it look a little bit on the shiny side as well. So Denethor hoping to maybe try a little bit of an experiment. Again, that's the Easterling army that I've been talking about, where we have all those Candish kings and then the chariots. And then Khamul on the Fellbeast, he's here just in case, well, someone thinks, well, they're just going to do the wizard thing and sorcerer's blast stuff. It's like, no, he's, or have some kind of a siege weapon or something like that. So if the siege weapon is targeting the chariots, that's all well and good. You can target a, I don't know, 30-point chariot if you want, and some 13-point riders around it. But there's a 190-point Khamul the Easterling on an armored Fellbeast that's going to have unfettered travel across the board. Hey there, Rico's mom. So Rico's mom, thank you so much for the scarf. Now it's been very warm the last few days, but now it's about 40 some odd degrees out there, and that is not Celsius. So we're gonna have to be making some use of that scarf, I do believe, very soon here. Now the colors were fantastic, Rico's mom, and everybody say hello to Rico's mom, of course. I hope that all of the I know that the physical therapy stuff is no fun, but hopefully that goes well. Recoil was showing me, he gave me some info on the air fryer that you guys are using there. That's something I might have to think about, an air fryer at some point. I was showing him some of the slow cooker stuff that I've been doing. And he mentioned how he'll do sometimes some of the, again, the air fryer stuff. So yeah, surface tension here. There was a lot of Egyptian violet in the in the pre-glaze. A lot of Egyptian violet there. Some indigo, Van Dyke brown, and well, even some of the Mars black too. So again, Rico's mom, really glad to see you. And I'll see you later there, Arid. Thank you so much for being here as always. Now have yourself a good night's sleep. Here, let me catch a couple more of my lights over here. There. And like I said, Yeah, not even 4.5 hours ago. This was paint free. There was no paint on this at all. You know what? Maybe I'll try and get a little light on some of this portion here. That's one of our blending brushes there. Let's see what we can get on here as far as maybe some lights on these rocks. Something like that, maybe. So, Rico's again, I hope that you're doing very, very well and just kind of getting stronger and better each day. Sometimes, sometimes there's maybe not the most progress that you'd like to see, and sometimes maybe there's a bigger accomplishments as far as range of motion and that sort of thing. I know that the ejector chair has been a big success too. Hey, Squirmy Mini Painter, how you doing? So, Squirmy Painter, great to have you here. I hope that you are having yourself a good Saturday morning, or in the case of Rico's mom, more like a Saturday afternoon, right, Rico's mom? So apparently, I guess Australia is not the only country that has the half-hour time zones. India also has half-hour time zones. Bring in some more of our light right there also. Guess what? Some more of that over here. So all of a sudden you have yourself quite the fast army with potentially chariots moving 13 inches. Now, of course, if I could be even more cheeky, then I'm tempted. If I want to be really, really, really super cheeky, well, then I also have in his warband just one cataphract with the war drum. So all of a sudden now he moves 17 inches. The chariot's potentially moving, well, 18 inches. It's it just depends on how cheeky do I really want to be. Because, well, having faced the stupid Nazgul list, as in the 9, as in these guys, plus, what's his name, the Necromancer. Squirmy Painter, I'm glad that you're able to do that pilgrimage. Well, we're trying to create a plan for this year for Fort Wappel, where, well, obviously, first of all, I'll be there this time. But what I want to do is have the camera there. We have a monitor there. I've got my Mr. Microphone, such as it is, and I just do continuous demos in Fort Wappel, so that way we can talk to folks and still be able to do lots of demos. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, Squirmy Painter. So it's 5:15 in the afternoon. I thought so. Round about this time gets to be about supper time, which of course now that gets me thinking about food again. And of course, when Mr. Clean was in here, we were talking about Grater's ice cream. And that was my one favorite flavor. Really enjoyed that. That was the black raspberry chocolate chunk ice cream. That was some tasty stuff. Hey there, Bithron. Great to see you again. So Bithron, in some ways, this is it's kind of reminded me of your wyvern, right? Because kind of crawling around on the rocks here. So if you want to post the pictures of your wyvern there, Bithron, go ahead and do that. Now surface tension. Well, if you're gonna have the Easterling army, well then it stands to reason it's gonna be a bit cheeky, right? Just a wee bit cheeky. So yeah, the last time we tried those guys, it was wasn't Heirlooms of Ages Past or what? No, it was Seize the Prize. So of course, the Necromancer just walks right up to it. Of course, rolls the 4, and once that happened, the game was over because there was no way to get any victory points. Because unless you can wound the Necromancer 25 times, well, you're never getting that out of his hands. So everybody, please check out the link that Bithron just posted there. So basically, I knew there was 0% chance of winning. What we wanted to do was see what the Asterisk army could do, and that would be the Dol Amroth army. And it was interesting. There were some combos actually I didn't really think of that emerged during the course of that game that were very interesting, something that'll have to be explored further. There was other stuff that proved to be not terribly effective at all, which we kind of pre-game suspected maybe it might. Of course, too, the scenario and the situation, if I was facing orcs or goblins or something like that, it would have laid waste to it. So I want to have my own version of a very nasty list. Let's put it that way. I've been playing up against the nastiest of the nasty in every single trial here so far. So it's time to reverse that. Now what we're also trying to do here, you know what? Get a little bit of the green into this. Fast map, what, whoops. Maybe not that much. Let's go with it, see what we got here. That's going to be a really light gray over here, that's for sure. That is going to be a very, very light gray. That's alright, because it's going to be here in this kind of upper reaches. Let's get, oh. Now, just stick my hand over here. So this is telling me that this Egyptian violet here, we did not put a bunch of it there. And that is good, because it's, even though I'm sticking my finger on that, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of paint come off on my finger. So that is a very good sign, actually, that this might just be dry by then. Boy, surface tension, I don't know. Now, the early version of Kings of War, well, I'm talking like version 2 maybe. I think they're on version 4 maybe. Now, Landrast actually has been playing that, so he knows more about the more current version. That was at the second edition. It was neat, but it had some major issues. I'm guessing that they've kind of tried to work some of those out. Unlike a Shmeem Shmirk shop, that may not try and do something like that. So yeah, I think they might have potentially worked out some of the dings in that. Alright, here's a second. Some of that sort of mid-tone violet here. Gotta get some stuff going on these scales now. Let's do a little bit over here. And this is another place where we had to do some sculpting to get rid of that little edge there. Again, there's a bunch of parts to this. And there was some gap filling to do. Still, though, it was really, really, really easy to print, and that's fine. Hey there, Kiki Turtle. Nice to see ya. Now, of course, the thing that is nice about MESBG, of course, is that you are limited to, well, the movies and the books. So there can't be a whole lot of made-up stuff, if any. And they do tend to, I don't want to say nerf stuff, but there are frequent, actually, I think there's more FAQs or better FAQs for MESBG than there is for any of the other systems. Because usually when an FAQ comes out, there's actual clarification instead of most people going, huh? Now let's do this here again, some of that lighter green down on these.